Hello, friends from Emmanuel. It's Wednesday and it's Angie, and I'm glad to be here with you again today for a youth devotion. We always start a devotion time with a little prayer, and for today's prayer activity, we are going to circle back to a prayer we did way back at the beginning of our YouTube, Facebook devotional journey called a foundation prayer. To do a foundation prayer, I invite you to stand up. And when you're ready, you're going to lift one foot off the ground so you are balancing on one foot. And as you are balancing there, you are likely to feel a little awkward, a little weak, unsteady, and shaky, and maybe a little insecure. As you're standing there on that one foot feeling that way, I invite you to take a moment in prayer, talking to God a bit about ways you are feeling weak and insecure and unstable, and ask Him to help you with those feelings. And then when you're ready, you can put your foot down so you are standing on 2 feet. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, your head held high, your shoulders back, your chest out in a pose of confidence, a strong, confident standing pose. And in those moments, ask God to be your firm foundation. Thank Him for being there to help you stand tall and tackle the challenges that you tackle every day. I invite you to take a moment to be in prayer and pause this video. And when you're done praying, you can press play and I'll guide you through the rest of our devotion. For our devotion today, I'd like to talk a little bit about leadership. It is a tough time to be a leader. There are leaders making really tough decisions on so many levels. There are government leaders, the presidents and mayors and governors, who are making really tough decisions about how our community and country and the world should proceed moving forward. There are leaders within your family who are making tough decisions about how your family, some things that, ways your family might proceed through these things, tough decisions. There are decisions being made in your school leadership, deciding on how they might adjust grading policies and how we should proceed with graduations and cleaning out lockers. All of those little logistical things are tough decisions to make. Leaders in our churches and in our hospitals making tough decisions. And no matter what decisions are made, people are going to be angry and upset. There are some really strong feelings and tempers, and people are on edge about these things. And it seems that we've really divided ourselves and drawn some lines in the sand as far as what's right and what's wrong. So what do we do about that? Well, if you look in 1 Timothy chapter 2, it says, "First of all, I ask you to pray for everyone. Ask God to help and bless them all, and tell God how thankful you are for each of them. Pray for kings and others in power so that we may live quiet and peaceful lives as we worship and honor God. This kind of prayer is good, and it pleases God, our Savior." What? I have to pray for these leaders, some of these leaders who I don't think are making the right decisions, who I question what they're thinking, who aren't seeing things my way and doing things the way I think is best. That's not exactly humble thinking, and we're supposed to be humble in our prayers. So what do we do if we are supposed to be praying for all of these leaders? How do we do that? It can be difficult to find those words when your heart and your mind can get really strong and passionate, and you don't want those prayers to be, change your thinking, think my way, you need to do it this way, you're not doing it right. We don't want to approach our prayers that way. But if we look in Titus, chapters 1 and 2 and 3 too, talk a lot about rulers and leaders and the qualities that they should have. And there are words that jump out at me when I just scan over these chapters. Things like being sensible and fair and pure and self-controlled, being a good listener, have good messages, be gentle, be kind, be obedient, listen to others, those kinds of things. I think it would be really helpful if our leaders tapped into some of these qualities that they have and could find ways to work together for how we might proceed as a country, as a community, as a world. So I invite you this week to take some time to consider prayers for our leaders in all different levels. And as you're praying for them, if you're having a hard time finding words that are humble and show some humility in your own feelings and your own opinions, pray that our leaders can think about those qualities we want them to have, and that they can find ways to work together and find some compromise in ways that we can proceed moving forward, in ways that, and that we can move forward in ways that bring health and happiness and stability to all of the people of the world. So please hold our leaders in your prayers this week, even if it's tricky.